Would you believe there are foods out there that give you more protein than eggs? For most seniors, that sounds impossible. After all, eggs have always been called the gold standard of protein, the reliable go-to. But here's the truth. Eggs may not be the champion we've been told they are. In fact, there's one food, and it's not even number one on today's list, that delivers over 5 times more protein than eggs per 100 grams. And the food that lands in the number one spot? It completely outshines everything else. Scientists are even studying it right now because it's so powerful at helping stroke patients rebuild lost muscle. Here's the surprising reality. Eggs only give you about 13 grams of protein per 100 grams. That sounds decent, until you realize that some of the foods we'll share today climb all the way up to 60 grams of protein in the same amount. The problem? Most seniors don't even know these foods are out there. And while they go unnoticed, muscle is quietly slipping away. After age 60, muscle loss accelerates, often without you realizing it. One day you're walking just fine, and the next, your legs feel weaker, your steps slower, and your balance less steady. That's when those unexpected falls can strike, the kind that change everything about your independence, your confidence, and even your health. But the good news is this: you can fight back. By adding the right protein-rich foods into your daily meals, you can rebuild strength, protect your balance, and stay active well into your later years. And it doesn't require powders, pills, or expensive supplements, just real, everyday foods you'll see in this video. So here's what we're going to do. In this video, we'll reveal 10 powerful foods that all pack more protein than eggs, ranked from number 10 all the way down to number 1. And trust me, you'll be shocked when you see the top spot. It's not sitting in the meat aisle or the dairy section. It's tucked away in one of the strangest corners of the store, and almost nobody talks about it. Every single food we share is backed by real science, not fads or hype. And if you'd like to dig deeper for yourself, we've linked the research down below in the description. But before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Take a quick second and comment below. Where are you watching from? And how have your energy levels been lately? We don't just drop information and disappear. We actually read and reply to every single comment. Your stories and experiences matter to us, and they help build this community of strong, healthy seniors. All right, let's get started with number 10 on the list, Greek yogurt. Coming in at number 10 is something you've probably walked past in the grocery store 100 times: plain, non-fat Greek yogurt. Now, don't be fooled by its simple appearance. This isn't just a snack, it's a protein powerhouse. Most people think eggs are the gold standard, but here's the truth. One boiled egg gives you around 6.3 grams of protein per 100 grams, while Greek yogurt delivers over 10 grams per 100 grams. That's nearly double the protein, and it comes in a smooth, creamy form that's easy to eat and gentle on the stomach. What makes Greek yogurt so special is the way it's made. It's strained 3 times, which removes much of the liquid and most of the lactose. What's left is a thick, concentrated source of high-quality protein that your muscles can actually use. And that's crucial, especially after 60, when your body breaks down muscle faster than it can build it. Research backs this up. A clinical review in 2020 found that older adults who ate at least 20 grams of dairy-based protein daily had 25% better muscle preservation after just 12 weeks, especially when paired with something as simple as walking. And the best part? These results came from real food, not powders or pills. Greek yogurt also has another advantage. It's light and easy to digest. That means less bloating, less discomfort, and more nourishment where your body needs it most. For the biggest benefit, choose the plain, non-fat variety. Skip the versions loaded with sugary fruit at the bottom. Those extra sugars can cancel out many of the health benefits. Instead, you can add your own healthy mix-ins, like fresh berries for antioxidants or ground flax seeds for fiber. You can also blend it into smoothies, use it as a base for dips, or stir it into salad dressings for a protein-packed meal. It's simple, it's versatile, and it's one of the easiest ways to give your body the protein it needs to stay strong after 60. Food number 9, chickpeas. At number 9, we've got a food you might not expect: chickpeas. Most people only think of them as something tossed into a salad or blended into hummus. But the truth is, chickpeas are a quiet powerhouse when it comes to protecting your muscles. After 60, cooked chickpeas provide around 11 to 12 grams of protein per 100 grams, which means they actually beat eggs. But here's where chickpeas go beyond eggs. They also bring plenty of fiber, and that makes a huge difference as we age. Why? Because after 60, digestion slows down, blood sugar becomes harder to control, and inflammation starts to creep in, slowly wearing away at muscle strength. Fiber helps with all three. It keeps your digestion regular, balances energy levels, and lowers the silent inflammation that quietly weakens your muscles over time. And this isn't just theory. One study found that older adults who swapped some animal protein for plant-based proteins like legumes had a 26% lower rate of muscle loss as they aged. That's a big difference. And it came from simple foods like chickpeas, not expensive powders or supplements. Chickpeas are also rich in magnesium, which is essential for muscle contraction, recovery, and strength. Here's the catch. If your body doesn't have enough magnesium, it doesn't matter how much protein you eat. Your muscles can't use it effectively. That's why chickpeas are so valuable. They don't just give you protein, they give you the tools your body needs to actually use that protein the right way. To get the most out of chickpeas, it helps to soak them overnight before cooking. This makes them easier to digest and boosts nutrient absorption. Their soft, creamy texture also makes them easy to add to your meals. You can mash them into hummus, roast them until they're crunchy for a healthy snack, or stir them into a warm stew for a hearty protein boost. Whichever way you enjoy them, know this: every bite of chickpeas is helping your muscles stay stronger, your energy steadier, and your body healthier for the long run. Food number 8, quinoa. Most people think of quinoa as just another trendy grain, but the truth is, it's so much more, especially for older adults trying to stay strong. At number 8 on our list is quinoa, and it absolutely deserves this spot. Quinoa isn't just a carb. It's actually a complete protein, which means it contains all 9 essential amino acids that your body can't make on its own. That's rare for a plant food, and it's a big deal when it comes to preventing muscle loss after 60. Once cooked, quinoa gives you about 14 grams of protein per 100 grams, more than double the protein you'd get from a boiled egg. But what really makes quinoa special is its high content of lysine, an amino acid that supports muscle repair, boosts collagen production, and helps your body absorb calcium, all things that become more important with age. And the research proves it. A 2022 study showed that seniors who ate quinoa daily had a 9% increase in leg strength in just 8 weeks, compared to those who ate white rice. That's a real, measurable difference, and it came from a simple change. Quinoa is also easy to work into your meals. To get the best benefits, soak it overnight before cooking. This helps reduce compounds that can block nutrient absorption and makes the protein even easier for your body to use. Cooking quinoa in bone broth or low-sodium vegetable stock adds even more nutrition, and a sprinkle of turmeric or black pepper gives it extra anti-inflammatory benefits to help with stiff joints. You can enjoy quinoa in so many ways: as a base for a breakfast bowl with sautéed veggies, tossed into a stir-fry, or mixed into a warm salad for a hearty, satisfying meal. It's naturally gluten-free, light on the stomach, and packed with clean plant-based protein that fuels your body without weighing you down. For seniors looking to hold on to their strength naturally, quinoa isn't just a side dish. It's a secret weapon for muscle health. Food number 7, pumpkin seeds. Don't let their tiny size fool you. Pumpkin seeds pack a serious punch when it comes to protein and muscle health. At number 7 on our list, these little seeds deliver about 19 grams of protein per 100 grams, which is nearly triple the amount you'd get from eggs. But it's not just about the protein. Pumpkin seeds are loaded with key minerals like magnesium, iron, and zinc, all of which play an essential role in keeping your muscles strong and helping your body repair itself. Magnesium helps your muscles contract and relax properly. Iron delivers oxygen to your muscles so they can work more efficiently. Zinc supports muscle growth and repair. As we age, These minerals become even more important because our bodies don't absorb them as well as they used to. A lack of them can leave you feeling weak, tired, and slower to recover. Pumpkin seeds also have another advantage. They're naturally anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is one of the silent enemies of muscle health, quietly breaking down muscle tissue over time, especially after 60. But studies show that eating pumpkin seeds daily can reduce markers of muscle inflammation by up to 38% in just 12 weeks. That means they don't just feed your muscles, they help protect them, too. The best way to enjoy pumpkin seeds is raw and unsalted. This way, you avoid extra sodium and keep all the nutrients intact. You can sprinkle a handful on your morning yogurt, blend them into a smoothie for a creamy protein boost, or even make a delicious seed butter. And here's the great part, you don't need a lot. Just a small handful each day can make a big difference in your strength, energy, and recovery. If you're looking for a simple, natural way to fight muscle loss, after 60, pumpkin seeds might just become one of your new best friends. Food number 6, tempeh. At number 6 is a food many seniors may not be familiar with, tempeh. Don't overlook it, because tempeh could be one of the best allies your muscles ever have. With around 20 grams of protein per 100 grams, it easily beats eggs in protein power. But it's not just about the amount of protein. It's also about how well your body can use it. Tempeh is made from whole fermented soybeans, and that fermentation process makes it easier to digest than many other soy products, like tofu. It also unlocks nutrients that protect your muscles and support gut health. Why does that matter? Because as we get older, digestion slows down, and it becomes harder for the body to absorb all the protein we eat. Tempeh provides a solution. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, including leucine, the amino acid most responsible for triggering muscle growth. This is especially important after 60, when muscle loss accelerates. On top of that, tempeh is naturally rich in probiotics, the healthy bacteria that keep your gut strong. And studies show that seniors with better gut health are able to maintain more muscle mass over time. Cooking tempeh is simple and versatile. You can slice it thin and pan-fry it with a splash of tamari or apple cider vinegar, crumble it into stir-fries, or toss it into salads for extra protein. It's a delicious, flexible way to add muscle-saving nutrition to your meals without heavy fats or overly processed ingredients. If you're looking for a natural, wholesome way to slow muscle loss after 60, tempeh deserves a regular spot on your plate. If you found this helpful so far, take a quick moment to tap the like button. It really helps more seniors discover these science-backed health tips. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of these foods has surprised you the most so far, or which one are you most excited to try? Share your answer in the comments below. We read every single one, and your experience might inspire someone else to take that first step toward better health. Food number 5, spirulina. At number 5, we have something that looks unusual but is incredibly powerful, spirulina. This deep green-blue algae may be small, but it packs a huge nutritional punch. Per 100 grams, spirulina delivers about 29 grams of protein, which is more than double what you'd get from eggs. But here's what makes spirulina stand out. It's not just about the amount of protein. It's about how much your body can actually use. Spirulina's protein is around 85% bioavailable, meaning your muscles can absorb it and put it to work faster and more efficiently than many other protein sources. On top of that, it's a complete protein containing all 9 essential amino acids, and it's especially high in leucine, the amino acid that signals your muscles to repair and grow. And spirulina doesn't stop at protein. It's also loaded with powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. That matters because as we age, chronic low-level inflammation can slow down muscle repair and speed up muscle breakdown. A 2022 study found that spirulina helped reduce markers of inflammation by about 32%, which means it helps protect muscle fibers and boost recovery. Spirulina also improves blood flow. It increases nitric oxide levels, which open up blood vessels and improve circulation to your muscles, critical for both healing and strength. The good news is you don't need to eat huge amounts of spirulina to see results. Just a teaspoon a day mixed into a smoothie with banana, spinach, or walnuts is enough to start noticing benefits within a few weeks. Another plus is that spirulina is shelf-stable and easy to store. That makes it a convenient, natural way to give your muscles extra support without worrying about spoilage or complicated preparation. For seniors looking for a clean, highly effective way to fight muscle loss and support recovery, spirulina may look simple, but it's one of the most powerful foods you can add to your routine. Food number 4, hemp seeds. At number 4 on our list are hemp seeds. They may look like just a trendy topping, but for seniors who want to keep their muscles strong, hemp seeds are a true hidden gem. With around 35 grams of protein per 100 grams, hemp seeds deliver more protein than most other plant foods out there. And even better, they're a complete protein, meaning they provide all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to build, repair, and maintain muscle. What makes hemp seeds truly special is their perfect balance of amino acids, which helps your body absorb and use protein more efficiently. That becomes a big deal after 60, when muscle loss accelerates and digestion isn't quite as smooth as it used to be. But the benefits don't stop at protein. Hemp seeds are also rich in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, including a special type called GLA. These healthy fats work together to reduce joint inflammation, support brain health, and improve heart function, all of which are critical for aging well. And the science backs this up. A 2021 review found that seniors who regularly ate complete plant proteins like hemp seeds experienced better muscle retention, quicker recovery after activity, and less fatigue overall. That means hemp seeds don't just feed your muscles. They help you bounce back stronger. The best way to enjoy hemp seeds is raw, so you keep their delicate oils and nutrients intact. You can sprinkle them on your morning oatmeal, toss them into a smoothie, or add them to roasted vegetables for extra protein and flavor. Just avoid cooking them on high heat, since that can damage their healthy oils. Easy to digest, gentle on the stomach, and loaded with muscle-supporting nutrients, hemp seeds are one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to naturally fight muscle loss. Food number 3, seitan. If you haven't heard of seitan before, you're not alone. It's still fairly unknown, especially among seniors, but this plant-based protein is a serious muscle-building powerhouse. Seitan delivers around 39 grams of protein per 100 grams, putting it right up there with the most protein-dense animal foods. But here's what makes it especially valuable for older adults. It's extremely easy to digest and absorb. Seitan is made from vital wheat gluten, which is processed to remove most of the starch and fiber, leaving behind nearly pure protein. That means your body doesn't have to work as hard to break it down, a big advantage as digestion naturally slows with age. And the science is impressive. A 2022 study found that seniors who included plant-based protein isolates like seitan in their diets retained 21% more lean muscle mass compared to those who ate mixed diets. That's a big difference, and it shows how powerful seitan can be for maintaining strength. Seitan is also naturally low in carbs and almost fat-free, making it a smart option for seniors managing diabetes, cholesterol, or weight. If you're wondering about taste and texture, seitan has a firm, chewy consistency that mimics meat surprisingly well. You can slice it into stir-fries, sauté it with garlic and olive oil, grill it like strips of steak, or marinate and roast it to copy your favorite barbecue flavors. Here's a simple tip. Pair seitan with iron-rich vegetables like kale or bell peppers. The vitamin C in those veggies helps your body absorb the iron from seitan more efficiently. Seitan may not be as well known as other protein foods, but for seniors who want to keep their muscles strong without relying heavily on meat, this plant-based option is truly a hidden treasure. Food number 2, Parmesan cheese. At number 2, we have a food you might not expect to see on a muscle-building list, Parmesan cheese. It may not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of protein, but Parmesan absolutely deserves a top spot. Per 100 grams, Parmesan contains about 42 grams of protein. That's more than eggs, most cuts of beef, and even cottage cheese. But what really makes Parmesan so powerful for seniors isn't just the amount of protein. It's how easily your body can digest and use it. Because Parmesan is aged for 12 to 36 months, it becomes very low in lactose and high in free amino acids. These are the building blocks your body needs to repair and maintain muscle. And this matters a lot after 60, when enzyme production slows and digestion becomes less efficient. Research proves the difference. A 2019 study found that older adults digest aged cheeses like Parmesan about 30% more efficiently than regular meat proteins. That means your body is actually getting more benefit from the protein inside Parmesan than from some of the foods people normally rely on. Parmesan is also particularly high in leucine, the amino acid that activates muscle repair pathways and triggers new muscle growth. In fact, just 30 grams of Parmesan, about 2 or 3 tablespoons, can provide enough leucine to switch on muscle repair in the body. For the best results, choose freshly shaved Parmesan and sprinkle it on warm vegetables, into omelets, or over whole grains. Light heating helps release its aroma and flavor, making your meals more enjoyable, something that can be especially important as appetite sometimes changes with age. And here's the good news. A little Parmesan goes a long way. Just a small portion can boost your protein intake, strengthen your muscles, and support your independence. So don't overlook this classic cheese. Parmesan may be known for flavor, but it's also one of the most efficient, senior-friendly protein sources you can add to your diet. Food number 1, dried fish powder. And finally, taking the number 1 spot on our list is something you may never have considered before: dried fish powder. It's not a food you'll see on every grocery shelf, but when it comes to protein power, nothing else comes close. Per 100 grams, dried fish powder delivers an incredible 63 grams of protein, nearly 3 times more than eggs. But it's not only about the amount. It's about how efficiently your body can absorb and use that protein. Dried fish powder is made from lean white fish, like cod or pollock, that's been carefully dehydrated. The result is a food that's almost pure protein, packed with essential amino acids, especially leucine, the key amino acid that signals your body to build and repair muscle tissue. And the research here is eye-opening. A 2020 clinical trial showed that seniors who added dried cod fish powder to their daily diet experienced a 19% increase in lean muscle mass in just 10 weeks, and that was without changing their exercise routine. For older adults fighting muscle loss, that's a remarkable benefit. Using dried fish powder is also simple. You don't need to eat spoonfuls of it on its own. Instead, you can mix it into soups, stews, mashed vegetables, or even savory oatmeal to add protein without extra chewing or heavy preparation. It's shelf-stable, easy to store, and especially helpful for older adults who may find it difficult to eat tougher cuts of meat. One important tip: choose only high-quality, food-grade fish powder without added salt or artificial flavorings. That way, you get the pure protein benefits without the extra sodium. If you want to give your muscles the strongest, most efficient protein possible, dried fish powder is a smart, effective, and surprisingly simple choice. For seniors who want to stay strong, steady, and independent, this food truly deserves its place at the top of the list. Now, we've just gone through the top 10 foods that pack more protein than eggs, and by themselves, those foods can already make a huge difference in helping you stay strong after 60. But here's the good news: we're not stopping there. There are still a few more lesser-known, affordable, protein-packed foods that deserve the spotlight. Think of them as bonus foods, the kind of hidden gems that can give your muscles and joints an extra edge, while also supporting your energy, balance, and independence. Most seniors haven't even heard of these, but once you add them into your routine, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. So let's keep going and look at 5 more powerful foods that can help you fight muscle loss naturally. Food number 1, Sasha Inchi seeds. Let's start with one of the most powerful seeds you may have never heard of: Sasha Inchi seeds, sometimes called Inca peanuts. These small seeds were once treasured by ancient Peruvian warriors before long marches and battles. And today they're proving to be a powerful tool for seniors who are fighting something very real: muscle loss, and joint pain. Just a single ounce, about 28 grams, of Sasha Inchi seeds gives you 8 to 9 grams of complete plant protein, the same or even more than a large egg. For older adults, where every gram of protein matters in the battle against sarcopenia, this makes a real difference. And remember, sarcopenia isn't just about looking thin or frail. It's what makes climbing stairs harder, legs shakier, and everyday tasks like standing up from a chair feel more difficult. But Sasha Inchi goes far beyond protein. It's also one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids, the kind of healthy fats that your muscles, joints, heart, and brain absolutely need. These omega-3s help reduce long-term inflammation, especially in your joints, which can bring real relief if you've been dealing with stiffness in your knees, hips, or hands. They also improve the way your brain and muscles communicate, which means better balance, quicker reflexes, and fewer stumbles or falls. And there's more. Sasha Inchi seeds provide a solid dose of vitamin E, which helps repair muscle damage and improves blood flow, both of which are crucial for recovery. After walking, exercising, or even just moving around the house. Along with that, they're rich in magnesium and zinc, two minerals that help muscles relax, recover, and stay strong. Plus, they contain tryptophan, an amino acid that supports serotonin production, which means a more positive mood and better sleep, two things that often get overlooked when we think about health after 60. What makes Sasha Inchi even more special is how easy it is to eat and enjoy. It has a light, nutty flavor, similar to roasted peanuts, but milder, and it can be added to almost anything. In the morning, sprinkle a spoonful on your oatmeal or blend it into a smoothie. At lunchtime, toss it into a salad or stir it into warm quinoa. In the evening, you can simply snack on a handful of dry roasted seeds instead of reaching for chips or cookies. Not only are you avoiding junk food, but you're actively feeding your muscles and joints with what they need most. And here's another plus. Sasha Inchi is gentle on digestion and rarely causes allergic reactions, making it a perfect choice for seniors with sensitive stomachs. Every bite is like an investment in your strength, your stability, and your independence. You're not just eating to get full, you're eating to stay strong and confident for years to come. This is why many nutrition experts now call Sasha Inchi the Inca Gold. It's one of the most overlooked treasures in modern nutrition, but for seniors, it may be exactly what your body has been waiting for. Food number 2, Morina powder. Next on our bonus list is something green, powerful, and often underrated, Morina powder. You may have heard it called the miracle tree, and once you see what it can do, you'll understand why. Morina is one of the most nutrient-rich plants on the planet, and when it comes to helping seniors rebuild muscle and stay active, it's nothing short of amazing. What sets Morina apart is that it's a complete plant protein, giving you all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to protect, repair, and build muscle. Just 100 grams of Morina powder delivers around 27 grams of protein, even more than eggs. That's a big deal because after 60, your body naturally begins losing muscle faster than it can rebuild. Without the right fuel, strength fades, balance slips, and independence starts to feel out of reach. Morina steps in as a simple, natural way to give your body what it needs to fight back. But protein isn't the only thing Morina has to offer. It's also loaded with vitamins and minerals that seniors depend on every single day. Vitamin A supports your eyesight and strengthens your immune system, keeping you sharp and resilient. Vitamin C helps your body make collagen, the glue that keeps your muscles, joints, and skin strong. Vitamin K builds healthy bones and prevents fractures. On top of that, Morina provides iron, which carries oxygen through your blood to your muscles, and calcium, which keeps both muscles and bones working smoothly together. Another key benefit of Morina is how easily your body can absorb it. It's gentle on the stomach and doesn't require any complicated preparation, which makes it especially useful for seniors whose digestion isn't as strong as it once was. Just a spoonful added to your meals can make a noticeable difference. And it doesn't stop there. Morina is packed with antioxidants, which help reduce inflammation. That means less pain, less stiffness, and quicker recovery after even light activity. If you've ever woken up sore from something as simple as gardening or household chores, Morina might help ease that discomfort. It also boosts energy and mood, giving you more motivation to stay active and more confidence in your daily movement. That combination of physical strength and emotional well-being is exactly what seniors need to stay independent. The best part is that Morina is incredibly versatile. You can add it to a smoothie with banana and almond milk, stir it into soups or stews, or sprinkle it over salads. To get the most from it, pair it with a healthy fat like olive oil or flaxseed oil, which helps your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins inside. If you're new to Morina, start small, maybe half a teaspoon a day, and gradually build up. The flavor is earthy and mild, blending easily into foods without overpowering them. Morina has been used for generations around the world as a source of strength, healing, and vitality. Each time you add a spoonful to your meal, you're giving your body exactly what it's been missing: the nutrients to move easier, recover faster, and feel more alive. Sometimes it really is that simple: a small green spoonful that brings big results from the inside out. Food number 3, firm tofu. Next up, at number 3 in our bonus list, is something soft, simple, and often overlooked: firm tofu. For seniors, searching for a complete protein that's gentle on the stomach and easy to add into everyday meals, tofu might just be one of the best choices out there. Each 100-gram serving of firm tofu contains about 8 grams of complete protein, which means it has all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to repair and maintain muscle. For older adults, especially those trying to slow down or reverse muscle loss, this is incredibly important. After all, muscle isn't just about appearance. It's what gives you the strength to get out of bed, walk across the room, and lift objects without straining your back. Tofu helps support all of those essential movements in a gentle, nourishing way. But tofu doesn't only provide protein. It's also a great source of calcium, which strengthens bones and helps prevent fractures and osteoporosis, two common concerns for seniors. The type of calcium found in tofu, especially when it's made with calcium sulfate, is easy for the body to absorb. That means when you eat tofu, you're feeding both your muscles and your bones at the same time. In addition, tofu gives you a good amount of iron, which helps your blood carry oxygen to your muscles, preventing fatigue during walking, gardening, or other activities. And then there are soy isoflavones, natural plant compounds found in tofu that act like a very mild form of estrogen in the body. For postmenopausal women, this can help ease common symptoms like hot flashes and mood swings, while also supporting heart and bone health. For men, soy is safe too. Studies show the isoflavones in tofu actually support heart health and healthy cholesterol levels without causing hormonal issues. Tofu is also naturally low in cholesterol and saturated fat, making it a healthy alternative to red or processed meats, especially for seniors managing heart disease, high blood pressure, or diabetes. And because it's so versatile, tofu can fit into almost any style of cooking. You can bake it, stir-fry it, add it to soups, or even enjoy it cold with a splash of soy sauce and sesame oil. If you're new to tofu, a simple way to start is by roasting cubes with garlic and olive oil until golden and slightly crispy. Add them to salads, toss them into quinoa bowls, or simply snack on them. They're filling, clean, and won't leave you feeling heavy or bloated. One of tofu's greatest advantages is how easy it is to chew and digest, making it perfect for seniors who have trouble with tougher meats or high-fiber foods. Every bite of tofu is like a quiet promise to your body, a way of saying, "I want you to stay strong, balanced, and steady for years to come." So don't underestimate this soft white block sitting on the grocery shelf. Tofu may look simple, but it might just be the secret to keeping your muscles strong and your independence intact well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Food number 4, cottage cheese. At number 4 on our bonus list is a food that's simple, affordable, and often sitting right in your refrigerator: cottage cheese. It may not look fancy, but it's one of the most underrated protein sources for seniors, especially when it comes to supporting muscle and bone health. Per 100 grams, cottage cheese gives you about 11 grams of protein, making it higher in protein than many other common dairy foods. And here's something special. Most of the protein in cottage cheese comes in the form of casein, a slow-digesting protein. That means your muscles get a steady release of amino acids over several hours, which helps preserve muscle mass, even while you're sleeping. For seniors who struggle with muscle loss overnight, this makes cottage cheese an excellent evening snack. But the benefits don't stop at protein. Cottage cheese is also rich in calcium, which is essential for strong bones and fracture prevention. After 60, bone density naturally declines, making calcium especially important. Eating cottage cheese regularly means you're not only feeding your muscles, but also protecting the very foundation that supports them. It's also a great source of B vitamins, including B12 and riboflavin, which play a key role in energy production and keeping your metabolism running smoothly. Plus, it contains selenium, a mineral that supports immune health and reduces oxidative stress, helping your body recover faster from daily activities. And let's not forget affordability. Cottage cheese is one of the cheapest high-protein foods you can buy, making it an ideal option for seniors who want healthy nutrition without overspending. What makes cottage cheese even more appealing is how easy it is to enjoy. You can eat it plain, mix it with fresh fruit for a sweet snack, spread it on whole grain toast, or stir it into salads for a protein boost. You can even blend it into smoothies for a creamy texture without adding heavy fats. Another advantage? It's gentle on digestion compared to many other dairy products, since it's naturally lower in lactose. That makes it a great option for seniors who are sensitive to milk but still want the benefits of dairy protein. Cottage cheese may not be glamorous, but it's practical, versatile, and packed with nutrients that help you stay strong. Every spoonful supports your muscles, strengthens your bones, and helps you keep the energy you need to stay independent. So if you're looking for a budget-friendly, protein-rich food that fits perfectly into breakfast, lunch, dinner, or even bedtime, cottage cheese deserves a permanent place on your table. Food number 5, lentils. Closing out our bonus list at number 5 are lentils, one of the most affordable, versatile, and protein-packed foods you can keep in your kitchen. They may be small, but they deliver a powerful combination of nutrients that are especially important for seniors who want to keep their muscles strong and their energy steady. Cooked lentils provide around 9 grams of protein per 100 grams, putting them right in line with eggs. But unlike eggs, lentils also come loaded with fiber, which is just as important for healthy aging. Fiber supports digestion, balances blood sugar, and helps fight the low-grade inflammation that slowly chips away at muscle strength over time. Lentils are also rich in iron, which is key for carrying oxygen through your blood to fuel your muscles. Without enough iron, it doesn't matter how much protein you eat. Your muscles simply won't perform at their best. Add in magnesium and potassium, and you've got minerals that support proper muscle contraction, recovery, and steady energy throughout the day. And here's what makes lentils extra valuable. They're one of the most budget-friendly protein sources you can buy. A single bag of dried lentils can provide dozens of servings of high-quality protein for just a few dollars. That makes them an excellent choice for seniors who want to eat healthy without breaking the bank. Science also backs up their benefits. Studies show that diets rich in legumes like lentils are linked to better muscle preservation, improved heart health, and lower rates of type 2 diabetes. That means every serving of lentils isn't just helping your muscles, it's helping your overall health as well. Cooking with lentils is simple and flexible. You can simmer them into hearty soups and stews, cook them down with spices for flavorful curries, or add them cold into salads for extra protein and fiber. They're quick to cook, easy to digest, and pair well with all kinds of flavors. Whether you're looking to stretch your grocery budget, keep your meals healthy, or protect your strength as you age, lentils are one of the smartest foods you can put on your plate. They may be humble, but they're a powerhouse for seniors who want to stay active, independent, and strong. Now we've covered not just the top 10 foods, but also 5 powerful bonus foods that can help seniors rebuild strength and protect their muscles. By themselves, These foods can make a huge difference in your health after 60. But there's still one more thing I want to share with you, something most people have never even heard of. Because here's the truth, a lot of people believe that getting older automatically means getting weaker, that losing strength, feeling off balance, and running out of energy is just part of the deal. It doesn't have to be. And that's where this next discovery comes in. When I first learned about it, I had the same reaction you probably would. I thought, there's no way this could help. But what I found surprised me. It's called dried fish powder, and while it may sound unusual at first, for many older adults, it's quietly becoming a real game changer. I'll be honest, the first time I heard someone say dried fish powder, I wrinkled my nose. It didn't sound like something that belonged in a meal, let alone something that could help someone like my uncle stand up again without trembling legs. But here's the truth. This quiet little powder changed everything. Not overnight, not in some dramatic, miracle way, but slowly, gently, the way spring sunshine slowly warms frozen ground. So what is dried fish powder really? It's made from small, nutrient-rich fish, anchovies, sardines, even salmon. These fish are first gently steamed or boiled, then carefully dried at low temperatures to protect their protein and minerals. Finally, they're ground into a fine, soft powder, almost like flour. And here's what makes it remarkable. Even though it comes from fish, it doesn't smell or taste fishy. High-quality, food-grade versions are clean, light, and nearly tasteless. You can stir it into soup, mix it into porridge, or sprinkle it over rice, and most people wouldn't even know it's there. In countries like Japan and Korea, families caring for older parents or grandparents often add this powder to meals. It's not flashy, it's not trendy, but it's quietly powerful. It gives the body exactly what it needs to rebuild strength, without the heaviness of meat or the side effects of supplements. Yet here in the US, almost no one has heard of it. Why? Because the only type of fish powder most of us know about is the kind used in animal feed. And yes, that exists. But there's another kind, a cleaner, safer, food-grade version made for people. This version is lab-tested, filtered, and processed to be gentle on the stomach. No chemicals, no odd additives, just concentrated nourishment from the sea. And the best part? You can actually buy it here in the US. If you search for anchovy powder or edible dried fish powder online, especially on Amazon or at Asian grocery stores, you'll find reliable options. Just make sure the label clearly says it's for human use. Now that you know what it is, the next question is the same one I had. Can something this simple really help rebuild strength after 60? Let's take a closer look. When my uncle first started using dried fish powder, none of us expected much. There was no big change to his routine, just a spoonful stirred into his evening soup. No hype, no fanfare. But then something happened. By the third week, he said, something I hadn't heard in months. I feel steadier. My legs don't shake like before. That one simple moment made me stop and pay attention. You see, as we get older, even if we eat healthy proteins like eggs, chicken, or beans, our bodies don't respond the way they used to. Muscles shrink faster, and rebuilding them takes more effort. It's not your fault. It's part of a natural process called anabolic resistance. That means your body doesn't process and use protein as efficiently as it once did. This is exactly where dried fish powder shines. It provides a complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids in a form that's incredibly easy to digest and absorb. Your body doesn't have to work hard to break it down. It can go straight to your muscles where it's needed most. And it offers more than just protein. Dried fish powder naturally contains calcium and phosphorus to support bones and joints, plus small amounts of omega-3s to calm inflammation and promote healing. What I appreciate most, though, is that this isn't a pill, a chemical, or a synthetic supplement. It's just real food, small, nutritious fish that are gently cooked, dried, and ground into a powder using traditional methods. For seniors, recovering from illness, surgery, or simply feeling weaker with age, this kind of gentle, steady nourishment can make a real difference. It doesn't work like a flashy miracle, but like the steady hand your body has been quietly asking for. And that leads to the next big question. How does this humble little powder really compare to the protein we've trusted for years, like eggs? For decades, eggs have been the go-to protein for most older adults. They're simple, affordable, and familiar. A few boiled eggs in the morning feels like a healthy start to the day, and for many years, it was. But here's what most people don't realize. As we age, the way our bodies process protein changes. Let's break it down. One whole egg gives you about 6 to 7 grams of protein. And yes, eggs are a complete protein, containing all the essential amino acids. But for older adults, that might not be enough. Some people feel full too quickly after eating eggs, while others notice discomfort or indigestion when they eat them daily. And aside from protein and a little fat, eggs don't provide much more for muscle or bone health. This is where dried fish powder stands out. Just 1 tablespoon gives you about the same protein, 8 to 10 grams, but in a far more concentrated, easy-to-digest form. And unlike eggs, dried fish powder brings extra nutrients to the table: natural calcium to keep bones strong, phosphorus to support joints, and a touch of omega-3 fatty acids to fight inflammation. Another advantage is how effortlessly it fits into your routine. There's no cooking, no peeling, no chewing required. You can stir it into soup, sprinkle it over steamed rice, or mix it into mashed potatoes. It blends in quietly, without a strong smell or fishy taste. And because it's so light, it doesn't leave you feeling overly full or sluggish. That doesn't mean dried fish powder has to replace eggs completely. Eggs still have their place in a healthy diet. But if your muscles still feel weak, even with eggs on your plate, it may be time to try something gentler, stronger, and more efficient. Dried fish powder can do the job eggs simply can't anymore. At this point, you might be curious, but also cautious. And that's a good thing. Before adding anything new to your diet, especially after 60, it's important to ask the right questions. So let's talk honestly about what you really need to know before trying dried fish powder. First off, is it safe? The answer is yes, when it's sourced properly. Food-grade dried fish powder, made from small clean fish like anchovies or sardines, is simply a concentrated form of real food. It's not a synthetic supplement or an artificial protein. In fact, families in many parts of Asia have been using it for generations, giving it to children recovering from illness, elderly parents who've lost their appetite, or patients healing after surgery who need strength quickly. Unlike processed powders, this is natural nourishment that your body recognizes and can use effectively. That said, there are a few important cautions. If you have severe kidney problems, are on a low-protein diet, or have a fish allergy, this may not be right for you. Always check with your doctor before trying it. Now, if you enjoy making things from scratch, you can actually make dried fish powder at home. The process is simple. Rinse small dried fish like anchovies, roast them until crispy, let them cool, and then grind them into a fine powder using a high-powered blender or spice grinder. Store it in an airtight jar in a cool, dry place, and it will stay fresh for about 3 to 4 weeks. This gives you full control over the ingredients, but it does take time and the right equipment. If you prefer convenience, there are many reputable food-grade brands available online and at Asian grocery stores. Always check the label carefully. It should say 100% fish, ideally with no added salt. Commercially packaged dried fish powder can last for months unopened. Once opened, it's best to use it within 4 to 8 weeks, keeping the jar tightly sealed away from moisture and heat. Some people even store extra jars in the fridge or freezer to extend freshness. So how much should you use? That's the beauty of it. You only need about 1 tablespoon per day. You don't have to change your entire diet or start a complicated routine. Just stir it into the meals you already enjoy: soups, congee, mashed potatoes, scrambled eggs, or even over steamed rice. If the powder is high quality, it blends in smoothly without leaving a fishy taste or smell. As for timing, there's no single best moment. Some people prefer taking it in the morning to support energy during the day, while others use it at dinner to give their bodies protein to repair overnight. The real key is consistency. Who benefits most? If you're over 60 and you've noticed muscle loss, slower recovery, or less energy in your legs, this could be an excellent addition. It's also helpful for people recovering from surgery, those who have difficulty chewing, or anyone who's lost their appetite and isn't eating enough protein. But again, it's not for everyone. Anyone with chronic kidney disease or strict dietary restrictions should always talk to their healthcare provider first. Here's the bottom line. Dried fish powder doesn't just add protein to your plate. It provides a type of protein your aging muscles can actually use, along with calcium and phosphorus to keep bones and joints strong, plus small but meaningful amounts of omega-3s to reduce inflammation. It's dense, absorbable, and gentle. Many older adults who've added it to their meals report feeling steadier on their feet, less shaky in the mornings, and stronger overall. Not instantly, but gradually, in a way that feels natural. This isn't about chasing the latest health trend. It's about adding something simple and steady to your day, something your body has been asking for all along. Now, we've just gone through a full list of affordable, high-protein foods, from the classic staples like eggs and beans to some surprising ones you may not have thought of before. If you add even a few of these into your meals each week, you're already taking a powerful step towards stronger muscles, better balance, and more energy in your daily life. But let me pause here and share something important with you. Because eating these foods is just one part of the puzzle. If you're over 60, you've probably noticed that your body doesn't respond the way it used to. You can eat the same meal you had at 30 or 40, but it doesn't seem to stick in your muscles the same way. You may feel weaker or find it harder to climb stairs, carry groceries, or simply get up out of a chair. This isn't your imagination, and it's not your fault. What's happening inside your body is something doctors call sarcopenia, and it's the silent reason so many seniors struggle with weakness, falls, and a loss of independence. So before we go any further, let's take a closer look at why protein is so critical for people over 60 and why your body needs it more now than ever before. Because once you understand what's really happening, you'll see these foods in a whole new light, not just as items on a shopping list, but as tools to protect your strength, your freedom, and your future. So what exactly is sarcopenia? The word comes from Greek, sarx meaning flesh and penia meaning loss. In plain English, it means loss of muscle. And while that might sound simple, the effects can be life-changing. Most people begin losing muscle mass in their 30s or 40s. At first, you hardly notice. But once you pass 60, the process speeds up. Scientists estimate that older adults can lose up to 3 to 5% of their muscle mass every decade after 60. Sometimes even faster if illness or inactivity is involved. Now, here's the real problem. This loss doesn't just mean smaller muscles. It means weaker legs. It means a slower walking speed. It means more difficulty lifting things you used to handle easily. And it means a much higher risk of falls, fractures, and hospital visits. And here's something most people don't realize. Sarcopenia doesn't just affect strength. It affects your metabolism, too. Muscle tissue is like your body's engine. It burns calories, regulates blood sugar, and keeps your weight balanced. When you lose muscle, your engine slows down. That's why many older adults gain fat, even if they're not eating more than before. Their bodies simply aren't burning energy the way they once did. But let me ask you something. Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt your legs wobble? Or walked across the room and realized you're moving slower than you used to? Those are not just signs of aging. They are early signs of sarcopenia. And here's where it gets even more important. Sarcopenia doesn't always shout at you. It creeps in quietly. You may still feel fine, but little by little, the foundation of your body is slipping away. You may notice you're more tired at the end of the day. You may notice carrying groceries feels heavier. Or maybe you don't go for long walks anymore because your legs get sore too quickly. This is how independence is lost. Not in one big event, but in small, unnoticed steps. But the good news? Sarcopenia is not a life sentence. You can fight it. You can slow it. And in many cases, you can even reverse it. The key lies in two things: protein and the right kind of protein. Movement, even small, consistent movement. Doctors and researchers agree that older adults need more protein per meal than younger people to stimulate muscle repair. It's called anabolic resistance. Your muscles simply don't hear the signal of protein as well as they once did. So while a younger person might rebuild muscle from 15 grams of protein, someone over 60 may need 25 to 30 grams in a single meal to get the same effect. And this is exactly why the foods we listed earlier, eggs, beans, lentils, Greek yogurt, sardines, chicken, tofu, quinoa, and yes, even dried fish powder, become powerful tools in your hands. Because they aren't just food. They are building blocks. They are materials for repairing the foundation of your strength. So the next time you sit down for a meal, I want you to think about this. Am I feeding my hunger, or am I feeding my muscles? That shift in perspective alone can change how you eat, how you move, and how you age. Now that we understand what sarcopenia is, let's talk about how it actually shows up in daily life. Because here's the thing, muscle loss doesn't usually begin with something dramatic. It's not like you wake up one morning and suddenly can't walk. Instead, it sneaks in slowly, quietly, in ways that most of us brush off as just getting older. But here are the real red flags you should never ignore. 1. Feeling weaker when doing everyday tasks. If lifting a grocery bag, opening a jar, or carrying laundry up the stairs suddenly feels heavier than it used to, that's often one of the earliest signs. It's not the bag that changed, it's your muscle strength. 2. Trouble with balance and stability. Do you notice yourself holding onto furniture when you walk around the house? Or maybe you feel a little shaky when stepping off a curb. That wobbliness is often linked directly to shrinking leg muscles. 3. Fatigue that sets in faster. If you feel wiped out after simple activities, things that never used to drain you, it's a signal that your muscles aren't supporting your body the way they should. 4. Changes in walking speed. Doctors call this gait speed, but you might just notice it as feeling like everyone else is walking faster than you. A slower, shorter step often means your legs are losing strength. 5. Clothes fitting differently. Sometimes people don't realize they're losing muscle until they notice their arms or thighs looking thinner, even if their weight on the scale hasn't changed. That's a hidden sign of sarcopenia. 6. More difficulty getting up. Whether it's rising from a chair, climbing stairs, or getting out of bed, needing to use your arms for support instead of just your legs is another red flag. And here's something important. These signs often appear years before an actual diagnosis. In fact, many seniors who report just feeling tired all the time are really experiencing muscle loss. The good news? Recognizing these signals early gives you a head start. You can take action before it spirals into falls, fractures, or losing independence. And that's why nutrition, the right kind of protein, becomes your biggest ally. So now that we've talked about sarcopenia and the warning signs to watch for, there's another piece of the puzzle we need to uncover, something most people have never even heard of, yet it explains why so many seniors struggle to rebuild muscle even when they're eating healthy. It's called anabolic resistance. Now, let's break that big term down. Anabolic simply means building up, in this case, building up muscle tissue. Resistance, of course, means the body is pushing back, refusing to cooperate. Put the two together, and you get this. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at turning the protein we eat into muscle. Here's what that looks like in real life. A 30-year-old eats a chicken breast, and their body quickly breaks down. The protein shuttles the amino acids to the muscles and builds new muscle fibers. A 65-year-old eats that same chicken breast, and instead of building as much muscle, the body uses up more of that protein for energy, digestion, or simply burns it off. The result? Far less of it actually goes toward repairing and strengthening muscles. That difference is anabolic resistance. And this is why so many older adults feel frustrated. They say, "But I eat eggs every morning. I eat chicken. I eat beans. Why do I still feel weak?" The answer is not that you're doing something wrong. It's that your body simply isn't processing protein the same way anymore. Scientists have found that this resistance starts showing up as early as our 50s and becomes much stronger in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. It means that the same amount of protein you ate years ago now delivers less benefit to your muscles. But Here's the encouraging part. It's not hopeless. Anabolic resistance doesn't mean you can't build muscle. It just means you need to be smarter about the kind of protein you eat and the way you get it into your body. Some proteins are harder to digest and harder for older muscles to use. Others, like fish, dairy, eggs, and especially concentrated sources such as dried fish powder, are gentler, faster to absorb, and pack a complete profile of amino acids your body can actually use. That's why in this video we're going deeper into foods that work with your body's changes, not against them. And here's something else fascinating. Studies show that it's not just the amount of protein that matters, but how consistent you are with it. A little bit of the right protein at each meal can sometimes do more for seniors than one big portion once a day. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but your legs still feel weaker, or you're still struggling with energy, remember, it's not a personal failing. It's anabolic resistance. And once you understand it, you can finally work around it instead of fighting against it. So now that we understand anabolic resistance, that frustrating change where your body doesn't use protein as efficiently as it once did, the next logical question is, how much protein do you actually need after 60? This is where a lot of confusion comes in. For decades, the old guideline was that adults only needed about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. That's roughly 55 to 65 grams for the average adult. But here's the problem. Those numbers were based on younger adults, not seniors. Newer research shows that once you cross 60, your needs actually go up, not down. Why? Because of that anabolic resistance we just talked about. Your body isn't turning protein into muscle as easily, so you need a little more to get the same results. Most experts now recommend that older adults aim for somewhere between 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. For some people, especially those recovering from illness, surgery, or dealing with weakness, even 1.5 grams per kilogram may be more appropriate, under the guidance of a doctor or nutritionist. Let me give you a simple example. If you weigh 150 pounds, that's about 68 kilograms. At 1.2 grams per kilogram, your daily protein target would be around 80 grams of protein per day. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Many seniors I've worked with think they're eating plenty of protein, but when we actually write it down, they're falling way short. A bowl of cereal in the morning? That's maybe 3 grams. A small piece of chicken at lunch? Maybe 20 grams. A light dinner with vegetables and rice? Possibly another 10 grams. That adds up to around 35 grams, less than half of what's needed to maintain muscle after 60. And remember, it's not just about hitting a number. Spacing protein out evenly across the day is just as important. Your muscles respond better when you give them steady fuel at breakfast, lunch, and dinner instead of loading all your protein in one big meal. So instead of one large steak at night, it might be smarter to have a protein-rich breakfast, like eggs or Greek yogurt, a protein-dense lunch with beans or fish, and then a light but nourishing dinner with something like tofu, salmon, or even that spoonful of dried fish powder stirred into soup. Now, does this mean you have to count every gram of protein for the rest of your life? Not necessarily, but being aware, really noticing whether you're closer to 40 grams a day or closer to 80, can make all the difference in how steady and strong you feel. And here's the best part. Getting enough protein doesn't always mean eating more food. It often just means choosing smarter sources that give you more nutrition in smaller portions. That's what we're diving into next, why protein quality matters more than just quantity. Now, here's something I need to say honestly. It doesn't matter how much we talk about protein needs, anabolic resistance, or the science behind muscle loss. If people can't actually afford to put protein on their plate, then all of this just becomes theory. And unfortunately, I've seen this happen again and again. After 60, many seniors live on fixed incomes, Social Security checks, small pensions, or savings that have to stretch for rent, medications, utilities, and food. And when you walk through the grocery store with a tight budget, protein often feels like the first thing to cut. Chicken breasts, salmon fillets, or those fancy protein powders can look more like luxuries than everyday necessities. That's why so many older adults end up skipping protein without even realizing it. They reach for cheap, filling options, bread, crackers, instant noodles, plain rice, because those keep the stomach from growling, even if they don't feed the muscles. But the body notices. Legs start to feel heavier, recovery takes longer, and balance becomes shakier. Not because they aren't eating, but because they aren't eating enough of the right building blocks. Here's the good news. Strength doesn't have to come with a heavy price tag. The foods we've been talking about, beans, lentils, eggs, peanuts, oats, these are some of the cheapest items in the entire grocery store. And yet, gram for gram, they offer some of the most powerful muscle-building protein you'll ever find. Think about it this way. A giant tub of protein powder can cost anywhere from $40 to $70. But a bag of dried beans? That's just a few dollars and can last for weeks, giving you hundreds of grams of protein. A carton of eggs, even with prices rising, is still one of the most affordable ways to get complete protein. And a jar of peanut butter? That's inexpensive, shelf-stable, and can deliver energy and protein every single day. I remember sitting at my aunt's kitchen table not long ago. She told me, "I stopped buying chicken because it's too expensive. I just eat toast or crackers." And I could see it in her hands. They were weaker, her grip was softer. That moment hit me hard, because it wasn't about her not caring for herself. It was about her believing that health had become unaffordable. And that's a lie too many seniors are told without anyone saying it out loud. The truth is, you don't need expensive powders, shakes, or specialty superfoods. You don't need salmon flown in from the coast or grass-fed beef at $20 a pound. What you need is consistency with the basics, the cheap, humble foods that quietly do the heavy lifting for your muscles and bones. And here's the part that gives me hope. Once my aunt realized that beans, lentils, eggs, and oats could rebuild her strength without draining her wallet, she started to eat differently. Slowly, her energy began to return. She didn't need a supplement subscription. She didn't need to spend money she didn't have. She just needed to see that affordable protein was right there in her pantry all along. So if you're listening to this and worrying about your budget, let me say this clearly: don't give up. Don't think strength is out of reach just because prices are high. The smartest, strongest foods are often the cheapest ones in the store. And if you commit to them, even little by little, you can fight back against muscle loss without spending more than you already do. That's why cheap sources aren't just important. They're the key. Because what good is a health plan if the people who need it most can't afford to follow it? Real strength, real healing, real independence, it should be available to everyone. And with the right choices, it can be. And with that, we're ready to move into the next phase, expanding your options even further. We've already gone through some of the most affordable, powerful protein foods. But now, let's explore a second layer of protein sources. These are foods you might not always think about, but they're simple, accessible, and in many cases just as affordable. Together, they can give you even more variety, flavor, and strength as you age. Now that we've covered the foundation, those everyday, affordable high-protein foods that can rebuild strength after 60, let's go a step further. Think of this as your second layer of muscle-building foods. These aren't replacements for eggs, beans, or yogurt. Instead, they're extra tools in your toolbox. Foods that give you more variety, more flavors, and in some cases, even more powerful health benefits. Because one thing I've learned after working with so many seniors is this: eating the same foods every single day gets boring. And when meals feel like a chore, people tend to give up and slide back into low-protein habits. That's why variety is so important, not just for nutrition, but for motivation. So in this next section, we'll look at 10 more high-protein foods that are easy to find, budget-friendly, and surprisingly powerful for muscle and energy. Some of these you may already know, and others might be new to you. But each one has its place in helping you stay strong, active, and independent as the years go by. Let's dive in. Food number 1, cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is one of the most underrated protein foods out there. For years, it was considered a diet food that only bodybuilders or dieters kept in their fridge. But here's the truth. Cottage cheese is a senior superfood hiding in plain sight. Just 1 cup of cottage cheese packs around 25 grams of protein. That's almost the same as a full serving of chicken breast, but at a fraction of the cost. And because it's a slow-digesting protein, it helps keep your muscles fed over a longer period of time, especially at night. Imagine this. Instead of going to bed with just tea or toast, you enjoy half a cup of cottage cheese with some fruit or honey. While you sleep, your body is quietly repairing your muscles, drawing on that steady supply of protein. That's how you wake up less stiff, less sore, and more energized in the morning. Affordability? Cottage cheese is one of the cheapest proteins in the dairy aisle. And because it lasts several days in the fridge, you can buy 1 tub and get multiple meals out of it. How can you eat it? You can enjoy it sweet, with berries, pineapple, or a drizzle of honey. Or savory, with sliced cucumbers, tomatoes, or even sprinkled with a little black pepper. It works for breakfast, lunch, or a light snack before bed. If Greek yogurt is your daytime muscle food, think of cottage cheese as your overnight muscle builder. Affordable, versatile, and incredibly effective. Food number 2, edamame. Next up is a food that might surprise you, edamame. These are simply young soybeans, usually sold frozen, and they're one of the most fun, satisfying ways to add protein to your diet. A single cup of shelled edamame provides about 17 grams of protein, plus a good dose of fiber, magnesium, and iron, nutrients that directly support muscle strength and circulation. What makes edamame special is how easy it is to prepare. You can buy a bag of frozen edamame, steam it for just a few minutes, and you've got a snack that's just as fun to eat as popcorn, but 10 times better for your muscles. And here's something seniors especially love. Edamame is soft, easy to chew, and gentle on the stomach. For those who struggle with tougher meats or heavy meals, edamame offers protein in a form that feels light but still powerful. Cost-wise, frozen edamame is surprisingly affordable. A bag can last for several servings, and because it's frozen, you don't have to worry about it spoiling quickly. That means less waste and more value for your money. You can eat edamame plain with just a sprinkle of salt, toss it into soups or stir-fries, or blend it into a creamy dip. It's versatile, nutrient-rich, and one of the best plant-based proteins for seniors who want strength without heaviness. Food number 3, tofu. Now let's talk about a protein that's been a staple in Asian diets for thousands of years, tofu. Some people shy away from tofu because they think it's bland or only for vegetarians. But here's the truth. Tofu is like a sponge. It takes on the flavor of whatever you cook it with. That means you can season it sweet, savory, or spicy, and it will always deliver. Nutritionally, tofu is a powerhouse. A single serving of firm tofu gives you about 10 grams of protein, plus calcium, iron, and magnesium, minerals that are absolutely essential for bone and muscle strength as we age. Here's another hidden benefit. Tofu is very easy to chew and digest. For seniors who may struggle with tougher meats or worry about cholesterol, tofu provides a light, heart-friendly alternative. It's made from soybeans, which means it contains plant-based compounds called isoflavones. These support bone health and may even help reduce inflammation in the joints. What about the cost? Tofu is one of the cheapest proteins you can buy. A single block can feed multiple people, and it stores well in the fridge. Many supermarkets carry it in both firm and silken varieties, so you can use it in stir-fries, soups, smoothies, or even desserts. Think of tofu as a blank canvas. You can make it crispy with a little olive oil in the pan, soft and creamy in a miso soup, or blend it into a smoothie for extra protein without any heaviness. If you've overlooked tofu before, this might be the time to give it another try. Food number 4, skyr, Icelandic yogurt. If you thought Greek yogurt was the king of protein-rich dairy, wait until you hear about skyr. Skyr is a traditional Icelandic yogurt that has been eaten for over 1,000 years. And the reason it has stood the test of time? Because it's packed with nutrition. A single cup of skyr has around 20 grams of protein, with fewer carbs and sugars compared to regular yogurt. The texture is thick, creamy, and rich, but the taste is slightly milder than Greek yogurt. So if you find Greek yogurt a little too tangy, Skier might be perfect for you. For seniors, Skier delivers two major benefits. First, the high protein content helps combat muscle loss. Second, it's loaded with probiotics, the good bacteria that keep your gut healthy and improve digestion. A strong digestive system means your body can actually absorb and use the protein you eat, which is just as important as the protein itself. Affordability? While Skier can sometimes be a bit pricier than regular yogurt, you don't need to eat it every day. Think of it as a weekly upgrade, a way to add variety and extra protein without breaking the bank. Plus, many stores now sell store-brand versions at very reasonable prices. You can eat Skier just like yogurt, with fruit, nuts, or a drizzle of honey. Or you can use it in place of sour cream, in smoothies, or as a base for dips. It's versatile, delicious, and one of the highest protein dairy products you'll find anywhere. Food number 5, seitan. Now, this one might be new for many of you. Seitan. Pronounced seitan, it's sometimes called wheat meat because it's made from wheat gluten. And while that might sound unusual, it has been a staple in Asian cuisine for centuries. Seitan is one of the highest protein plant foods available. Just 3 ounces of seitan can give you over 20 grams of protein, nearly the same as a steak, but entirely plant-based. And here's what makes it so appealing. It has a chewy, meaty texture that makes it very satisfying, even for people who are used to eating chicken or beef. For seniors, seitan is an excellent choice because it's high in protein but very low in fat. That makes it easier on the heart and arteries. And because it's so versatile, you can slice it, dice it, or cook it into almost any dish where you'd normally use meat. Now, a quick note. Seitan is not suitable for those with gluten sensitivity or celiac disease, since it's literally made from gluten. But if that's not an issue for you, seitan can be one of the most affordable and effective protein sources you'll find in the plant-based world. You can buy it pre-cooked in many grocery stores, or even make it at home with flour and water. Pan-fry it, grill it, stir-fry it, or simmer it in a stew. The options are endless. And because it soaks up sauces and spices beautifully, it can taste as rich and flavorful as any meat dish. For anyone looking to add more variety to their protein sources, seitan is a powerful, budget-friendly option that deserves a spot on your plate. Food number 6, nutritional yeast. Here's one you may not have heard of before, but it's a secret weapon in the nutrition world: nutritional yeast. It looks like little golden flakes, and it has a nutty, cheesy flavor. But here's the best part. Just 2 tablespoons give you around 8 grams of protein along with a big dose of B vitamins, including the hard-to-get B12 that's especially important for seniors. B12 supports energy, focus, and nerve health, things many older adults struggle with as they age. That means nutritional yeast is doing double duty, boosting your protein and protecting your brain and nervous system. Another bonus? It's shelf-stable and lasts for months. You don't need to cook it, just sprinkle it on top of soups, salads, pasta, or popcorn. Many people even use it as a healthy replacement for grated cheese. From an affordability standpoint, nutritional yeast stretches a long way. A single container can last weeks or even months, since you only need a small scoop each day. That makes it a cost-effective way to sneak in extra protein without changing your whole diet. If you've never tried it before, think of it as a seasoning that also happens to build muscle. Sprinkle, stir, or mix it into sauces, and you'll be surprised how much flavor and protein you're adding to your meals. Food number 7, oats. Next up, let's look at a breakfast staple that many people already enjoy: oats. Now, most of us think of oats as a carb-heavy food, but here's the surprise. 1 cup of cooked oats has about 6 grams of protein. And when you pair oats with milk, yogurt, or nuts, that number jumps even higher, easily giving you a muscle-friendly start to your morning. For seniors, oats have an additional benefit. They're loaded with soluble fiber, which helps lower cholesterol and keep digestion smooth. That means you're not just fueling your muscles, you're also protecting your heart and keeping your blood sugar steady. And let's be honest, oats are one of the most budget-friendly foods you'll ever find. A big container costs just a few dollars and lasts for weeks. You can eat them hot as oatmeal, cold as overnight oats, or even blend them into smoothies. And baked goods. Another tip? Add a spoonful of peanut butter, a sprinkle of chia seeds, or some Greek yogurt on top of your oats. Suddenly, you've got a protein-packed breakfast that rivals any expensive protein shake. Oats prove that building muscle after 60 doesn't have to be complicated or costly. Sometimes the simplest foods are the most effective. Food number 8. Black beans. Now let's move to a pantry hero, black beans. Beans have been a staple food in cultures around the world for centuries, and for good reason. Just 1 cup of cooked black beans gives you about 15 grams of protein, plus fiber, iron, and magnesium, nutrients that keep your muscles strong, your digestion regular, and your energy steady throughout the day. One of the biggest strengths of black beans is their affordability. A single bag of dried beans can make multiple meals, and canned beans are one of the cheapest, most convenient proteins you'll ever find. No fancy supplements, no expensive cuts of meat, just beans that can be turned into soups, salads, tacos, or even burgers. For seniors, black beans also help stabilize blood sugar thanks to their slow-digesting fiber. That means fewer crashes and more steady energy. Exactly what you want when you're trying to stay active and independent. Cooking tip: if you use canned beans, give them a good rinse under water to reduce the sodium. If you use dried beans, soak them overnight to make them easier to digest. Whether you enjoy them with rice, in a hearty soup, or tossed into a salad, black beans are a perfect example of how a cheap, humble food can help rebuild muscle and support long-term health. Food number 9, buckwheat. Next on the list is a food that often gets overlooked but deserves a spot in every senior's kitchen: buckwheat. Despite the name, buckwheat isn't related to wheat at all. It's actually a seed, and it's naturally gluten-free. 1 cooked cup gives you around 6 grams of protein, along with a powerful dose of fiber, magnesium, and antioxidants. What makes buckwheat unique is its amino acid profile. Unlike many plant-based proteins, buckwheat is considered a complete protein, meaning it contains all the essential amino acids your body needs to build and repair muscle. That makes it especially valuable for seniors who may be reducing meat or dairy intake. From a cooking standpoint, buckwheat is incredibly versatile. You can prepare it as a warm porridge, use it as a rice substitute, or even bake it into pancakes. And bread. In countries like Japan and Russia, buckwheat has been a traditional staple for generations, helping people stay nourished on a budget. And speaking of budget, buckwheat is one of the more affordable specialty grains you'll find. Buying it in bulk brings the cost down even further, giving you a nutrient-rich, protein-dense food without straining your grocery bill. For seniors looking for variety beyond rice or oats, buckwheat is a powerful, underused option that can support both muscle strength and overall health. Food number 10, spirulina. Finally, let's talk about one of the most concentrated protein sources on the planet, spirulina. Spirulina is a type of blue-green algae, and just 1 tablespoon contains about 4 grams of protein. That may not sound like much, but remember, this is a food that's incredibly lightweight and nutrient-dense. Gram for gram, it's one of the highest protein foods in existence. Beyond protein, spirulina is packed with antioxidants, iron, and B vitamins, making it a natural energy booster. Many people describe it as a superfood, and in this case, the label really does fit. For seniors, spirulina can be especially helpful because it's easy to digest and doesn't require chewing or heavy digestion like some animal proteins do. It can be stirred into smoothies, blended with yogurt, or even mixed into oatmeal. Now, here's the important part. Spirulina is more expensive per ounce than beans or oats, but you don't need much. A small container can last weeks since you're only using a spoonful at a time. Think of it as a powerful supplement-like food that can help fill in protein gaps, especially on days when your appetite is low. If you're looking for one of the most efficient, nutrient-packed protein boosters available, spirulina is a smart choice. It proves that sometimes the smallest foods can have the biggest impact on your health and strength. We've covered a long list of high-protein foods, but here's where it often gets tricky. Which ones are actually better for seniors? Is chicken really superior to beans? Is yogurt more powerful than cottage cheese? And what about powders? Do they beat real food? These questions matter because when you're over 60, you can't afford to waste time or money on foods that don't give you results. So let's go head to head with some of the most common protein rivals and separate fact from fiction. Eggs versus dried fish powder. On one hand, eggs are one of the most popular protein sources in the world. They're affordable, easy to cook, and one large egg delivers 6 grams of high-quality protein along with vitamin D, choline, and healthy fats. On the other hand, dried fish powder, often used in soups or sprinkled into meals, is a concentrated protein source that can deliver up to 80 grams of protein per 100 grams. It's extremely rich in calcium, iron, and omega-3 fatty acids, which are crucial for joint health and heart health. But here's the catch. Eggs are easier to incorporate into a daily diet. You can scramble them, boil them, or mix them into baked goods. Dried fish powder, while powerful, isn't something most seniors will eat in large amounts daily. So who wins this face-off? Eggs win for practicality and affordability. But dried fish powder is a secret weapon. You don't need much. Just a spoonful sprinkled into soups or stews can dramatically increase the protein content of a meal. Chicken versus beans. Chicken breast is often called the gold standard of lean protein. With about 26 grams of protein per 100 grams, it's pure, low-fat, muscle-building fuel. For seniors, chicken is a familiar and reliable option. But beans, whether black beans, kidney beans, or lentils, bring more than just protein to the table. 1 cup provides 15 grams of protein plus a huge amount of fiber, potassium, and antioxidants. Fiber is something chicken doesn't have, and it's crucial for digestion, blood sugar control, and heart health. So who wins here? It's a tie. Chicken offers fast, direct protein that's highly bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb it easily. Beans provide a package deal, protein plus fiber plus affordability. The smart move? Don't pick one, combine them. A plate of chicken and beans gives you the best of both worlds. Yogurt versus cottage cheese. Both of these foods are dairy-based, rich in protein, and loved by seniors. Greek yogurt gives you around 10 grams of protein per cup, while cottage cheese can double that, up to 20 grams per cup. But it's not just about protein. Yogurt brings probiotics, the gut-friendly bacteria that support digestion and immunity. Cottage cheese, on the other hand, has more casein protein, which digests slowly and can fuel your muscles overnight if eaten before bed. So who wins here? Cottage cheese takes the crown for sheer protein density. But yogurt holds its own when it comes to gut health and flavor variety. Once again, the real winner is mixing them into your routine. Yogurt in the morning, cottage cheese at night. Your muscles and your gut will both thank you. Plant versus animal protein. This is one of the biggest debates in senior nutrition. Should you get your protein from plants or from animals? On one side, animal proteins, like chicken, eggs, fish, yogurt, and beef, are often praised as the complete sources. And that's true. Animal proteins contain all 9 essential amino acids in the exact ratios your body needs to rebuild and repair muscle. They're also more bioavailable, which means your body can digest them and turn them into muscle more efficiently. That's why, for decades, doctors and dietitians have recommended animal protein as the go-to for preventing muscle loss. A piece of chicken, a couple of boiled eggs, or a cup of Greek yogurt is a straightforward way to give your muscles the building blocks they crave. But here's the other side of the story. Plant proteins, from beans, lentils, tofu, oats, buckwheat, and even spirulina, are often overlooked. While it's true that many plant proteins are incomplete on their own, meaning they might be low in 1 or 2 amino acids, combining different plant foods easily fills the gap. For example, beans and rice together create a complete protein. Same with hummus and whole grain pita, or tofu and quinoa. And plant proteins offer something animal proteins can't: fiber, antioxidants, and phytochemicals that protect your heart, improve digestion, and reduce inflammation. Plus, plant-based proteins are often far cheaper. A bag of beans costs a fraction of what a pack of chicken does, yet still delivers muscle-supporting protein. So, which one is better for seniors? The truth is, neither wins on its own. Animal protein builds muscle more directly, while plant protein builds health more broadly. Together, they're unstoppable. Think of it like this. Animal protein is like the bricks that build the house. Plant protein is like the insulation, the wiring, and the support beams. One gives you structure, the other gives you stability. 4. Seniors looking to stay strong, energized, and independent. The smartest choice is not picking one side, but blending both into your diet. A grilled chicken breast with a side of black beans. Scrambled eggs with spinach and oats. Cottage cheese with fruit and chia seeds. These simple combinations give you the complete spectrum of protein power. And here's the most important point. Variety matters more than choosing sides. The more different protein foods you include, both animal and plant, the better your body will respond. Protein powders versus real food. When people think about protein, one of the first things that comes to mind these days is protein powder. You see it everywhere, tubs on store shelves, ads online, even celebrities and athletes promoting it as the secret to staying fit and strong. But here's the truth seniors need to know. Protein powders can help in some cases, but they are never a replacement for real food. Let's start with the benefits. Protein powders are convenient. If you're someone who struggles with appetite, has difficulty chewing tougher foods like meat, or simply can't cook often, a scoop of protein powder in a smoothie can be a quick way to bump up your intake. For seniors recovering from surgery or dealing with muscle loss, that little boost can make a real difference. However, and this is a big however, protein powders come with limitations and risks that real food doesn't. First, powders are often highly processed. They lack the natural vitamins, minerals, and fibers found in whole foods. Eating chicken, beans, eggs, or yogurt doesn't just give you protein. It gives you calcium, iron, B vitamins, magnesium, and dozens of other nutrients your muscles, bones, and heart need. Protein powder, on the other hand, is mostly isolated. Protein, stripped of its natural companions. Second, powders can sometimes contain additives like artificial sweeteners, fillers, or heavy metals, depending on the brand. Seniors with sensitive digestion or existing health conditions may not tolerate these extras well. And third, powders can be expensive. A large tub might cost $30, $40, or more, and it empties fast. Compare that to a dozen eggs, a bag of beans, or a carton of Greek yogurt. These are cheaper, safer, and bring you more benefits per serving. So where do powders fit in? Think of them as a backup tool, not the foundation. If you're eating 3 balanced meals but still struggling to hit your daily protein target, a shake can fill in the gap. For example, blending a scoop of whey protein with milk, a banana, and some oats can be a helpful supplement. But here's the key. Never rely on powders instead of real food. Your body processes whole foods more efficiently, and the natural nutrient combinations in real foods work together like a team. Real food protein sources are safer, cheaper, and more effective for building lasting strength. Powders are a supplement, not a solution. If you enjoy them, use them sparingly. But always let your foundation be real, affordable protein foods, the same ones we've been discussing throughout this video. When it comes to protein, there are a lot of myths floating around, especially for seniors. And unfortunately, many of these myths cause people over 60 to eat less protein than they really need, which only speeds up muscle loss. So let's clear the air and separate fact from fiction. Myth number 1. Too much protein damages your kidneys. This is one of the biggest fears seniors have. Maybe a friend or even a doctor once mentioned it. Be careful. Protein will stress your kidneys. Here's the truth. If you already have serious kidney disease, then yes, protein intake may need to be managed under medical guidance. But for healthy seniors, eating adequate protein does not harm the kidneys. In fact, decades of research show that people without kidney disease can safely consume higher amounts of protein without causing damage. What really stresses kidneys is high blood pressure, uncontrolled diabetes, or dehydration, not protein from eggs, beans, or chicken. So if you've avoided protein because of this myth, take a deep breath. For healthy older adults, eating enough protein is not only safe, it's essential. Myth number 2. Plant protein is incomplete and useless. Another common misconception is that plant protein doesn't count. Maybe you've heard someone say, beans aren't real protein, or plant protein is incomplete. Here's the reality. While it's true that most plant proteins are lower in 1 or 2 amino acids, your body is smarter than you think. You don't need every amino acid in a single food. As long as you eat a variety of plant proteins throughout the day, beans, lentils, oats, nuts, seeds, your body builds the complete protein it needs. That's why cultures around the world thrive on plant-heavy diets. Think of rice and beans in Latin America, lentils and flatbread in India, or soy-based dishes in Asia. These combinations naturally provide all the essential amino acids, and people stay strong and healthy well into old age. So no, you don't have to rely only on meat. Plant proteins count, and they can absolutely support muscle growth and repair in seniors. Myth number 3. Seniors don't need as much protein because they're less active. This one is sneaky. Many older adults believe that since they aren't running marathons or lifting weights, they don't need much protein. But the opposite is true. As we explained earlier with anabolic resistance, seniors actually need more protein per meal to trigger muscle repair. Even if your lifestyle is less active, your muscles are still constantly breaking down and rebuilding. Without enough protein, you'll lose strength faster. Think of protein as daily maintenance for your body. Just like a car needs fuel whether you're driving on the highway or around the block, your muscles need protein whether you're working out or just carrying groceries. Myth number 4. Protein is only for bodybuilders. Protein shakes, gyms, and fitness ads have made people think protein is only for young athletes. But that's marketing, not science. The truth is, protein is for survival. Your heart is a muscle. Your diaphragm, the muscle that helps you breathe, needs protein. Even your immune system relies on protein to build antibodies. Seniors who don't get enough protein aren't just weaker. They're more vulnerable to infections, falls, and slow recovery after illness. So no, protein isn't about bulking up. It's about staying alive, strong, and independent. Bottom line, don't let these myths scare you away. Protein won't wreck your kidneys unless you already have advanced kidney disease. Plant protein absolutely counts, and seniors need just as much, if not more, protein than younger adults. And most importantly, protein isn't just for athletes. It's for everyone who wants to keep living fully. We've covered the science behind protein. We've explored affordable foods, and we've debunked some of the biggest myths that hold seniors back. But at this point, most people watching are asking themselves one simple question. What does this actually look like in my daily life? Because it's one thing to know that Greek yogurt, eggs, beans, or lentils are high in protein. It's another thing entirely to figure out how to put those foods into a routine that feels doable, tasty, and affordable. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this section. I want to show you what a high-protein day looks like, step by step. We'll begin with a simple one-day meal plan that uses foods you can find at any grocery store. Then we'll expand into a 3-day rotation that keeps costs low while still giving your body everything it needs. Finally, I'll lay out a 7-day muscle rebuilding plan that you can follow week after week. And for anyone who struggles with appetite or chewing difficulties, I'll also share quick snack options that make it easier to reach your protein goals without stress. Let's start with a 1-day plan. Imagine waking up in the morning and beginning your day with a bowl of creamy Greek yogurt. You add a handful of oats for fiber and some berries for sweetness. It's quick, it doesn't require cooking, and right there you've already set yourself up with a strong dose of protein to start the day. Later in the morning, when you're a little hungry, you can have a boiled egg along with a slice of whole grain toast spread lightly with peanut butter. It's filling, portable, and combines both animal and plant protein in a very simple way. For lunch, picture a warm bowl of lentil and vegetable soup, paired with a slice of bread or a scoop of brown rice. It's inexpensive, easy to make in large batches, and gentle on digestion, which is especially helpful for seniors. In the afternoon, instead of reaching for cookies or crackers, imagine enjoying a small cup of cottage cheese with sliced cucumbers or carrots. It's rich, refreshing, and extremely affordable. Then, for dinner, you finish the day with a palm-sized piece of grilled chicken breast or fish, served with steamed vegetables and a baked potato or a serving of rice. By the end of this one day, you'll have eaten a wide variety of foods, but without even realizing it, you've easily taken in more than 85 grams of protein, enough to protect muscle strength, support balance, and help fight back against age-related muscle loss. That's just one day. Now let's zoom out and look at a 3-day rotation. The reason a 3-day plan is so powerful is because it introduces variety without overwhelming you with too many different foods. On the first day, you might have oatmeal made with milk for breakfast, topped with chopped nuts for texture. Lunch could be a tuna salad with beans and lettuce, drizzled with olive oil. In the afternoon, you keep it simple with hard-boiled eggs, and for dinner, you stir-fry tofu with vegetables and rice. The second day shifts slightly. Maybe you go back to Greek yogurt with oats and a banana in the morning, followed by a hearty lentil curry with brown rice at lunch. In the afternoon, cottage cheese with fruit makes for a refreshing snack, and at dinner, you bake chicken thighs with potatoes and green beans. On the third day, you could wake up to scrambled eggs with spinach on toast, have a black bean soup. With corn tortillas for lunch, enjoy a serving of skyr or plain yogurt as a snack, and finish with salmon and roasted vegetables for dinner. Each day looks different, but notice the pattern. You're rotating through affordable foods like eggs, beans, yogurt, chicken, lentils, and tofu. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just real foods that are easy to prepare and give you exactly what your body needs. Now let's go even further and look at a full 7-day plan. This is where things start to feel like a rhythm. On Monday, you might have Greek yogurt with oats in the morning, tuna and bean salad at lunch, cottage cheese in the afternoon, and chicken with rice and vegetables at night. Tuesday starts with scrambled eggs and spinach, moves into lentil soup. For lunch, peanut butter toast as a snack, and salmon with quinoa for dinner. Wednesday could be skyr with nuts and oats in the morning, chickpea salad at lunch, boiled eggs as a snack, and a tofu stir-fry for dinner. Thursday keeps things simple with oatmeal and milk for breakfast, black bean chili at lunch, cottage cheese in the afternoon, and chicken thighs with sweet potato in the evening. Friday could be Greek yogurt with chia seeds in the morning, edamame, with rice for lunch, skyr as a snack, and fish with roasted vegetables for dinner. Saturday might be scrambled eggs with mushrooms for breakfast, tofu and lentil curry at lunch, peanut butter toast in the afternoon, and beef stir-fry with broccoli at night. And then Sunday closes the week with cottage cheese and fruit in the morning, chickpea and spinach soup at midday, yogurt in the afternoon, and chicken breast with greens and rice at dinner. If you look at that week, you'll see that the meals repeat in a smart way. You don't need to buy 20 different groceries to make it work. By rotating between just a handful of core foods, eggs, beans, yogurt, lentils, chicken, tofu, and fish, you're able to keep costs low while still keeping your meals interesting. And most importantly, you're spreading your protein intake evenly across the day. That's what your muscles need in order to rebuild properly. Of course, not every senior has a big appetite, and some have trouble chewing tougher foods. That's where quick protein snacks come in handy. A single cup of Greek yogurt or skyr can give you 20 grams of protein without much effort. Cottage cheese with fruit is soft, refreshing, and easy to eat. A protein smoothie made with milk, banana, and peanut butter is both gentle and filling, while a cup of steamed edamame can give you the protein punch of an entire meal in just a few bites. For those who prefer soft foods, tofu drizzled with a bit of soy sauce or a blended lentil soup can be both easy to swallow and highly nourishing. These snacks can fill the gaps in your day and make sure you're always meeting your needs, even if your appetite isn't strong enough for 3 large meals. And that's the beauty of meal planning for seniors. It doesn't need to be complicated. With a little structure, you can create meals that are simple, affordable, and high in protein. You don't need expensive powders or supplements. You don't need gourmet ingredients. All it takes is a handful of accessible foods, some smart repetition, and a rhythm that fits your life. Once you start eating this way, you'll notice the difference. More energy during the day, stronger legs, and a body that feels supported instead of drained. By now, you've seen just how many affordable, protein-rich foods are available and how simple it is to structure them into your daily life. But here's a truth that often goes unspoken. Protein alone isn't enough. You can eat the right foods, in the right amounts, at the right times, and still not see the full benefits if the rest of your lifestyle doesn't support it. That's why in this section, we're going to look beyond the plate and talk about the other factors that help your body actually use the protein you're giving it. Think of protein as the raw material for rebuilding your muscles, but you still need the right workers, tools, and environment to turn that raw material into strength. Let's begin with movement. Protein by itself is like buying bricks and wood for a house, but leaving them in a pile in your yard. Until someone picks them up and starts building, nothing changes. That someone is exercise. Even gentle, low-impact movement signals your muscles that they need to grow and repair. For seniors, this doesn't mean hours in the gym. It can be as simple as walking for 15 minutes a day, doing chair squats in the living room, or using resistance bands to stretch and strengthen. These small, consistent movements act like a spark. They tell your body to take the protein you've eaten and put it to work. In fact, research shows that pairing protein with even light activity doubles its effectiveness for maintaining and rebuilding muscle. That means every step you take, every stretch you do, is helping your breakfast, lunch, and dinner work harder for you. But exercise isn't the only partner protein needs. The next one is hydration. Think of your muscles as a sponge. Without enough water, that sponge is stiff, brittle, and unable to absorb what you pour onto it. But when it's hydrated, it soaks up everything with ease. That's how your body handles protein. Your kidneys, liver, and muscles all rely on water to break down protein into usable amino acids and transport them where they're needed. If you're dehydrated, that process slows down and the benefits you should be getting from your diet are reduced. For seniors, aiming for 6 to 8 glasses of water throughout the day is often enough. And remember, this doesn't just mean plain water. Soups, herbal teas, and even watery fruits like cucumbers and melons count toward your hydration. The key is to sip steadily instead of waiting until you feel very thirsty, because by that time, your body is already behind. The third lifestyle factor is sleep, which might surprise you. Many people don't connect rest with protein, but sleep is when your body does its most important repair work. Picture your muscles like a construction site. During the day, workers are busy moving supplies around, laying foundations, and preparing materials. But it's only at night, when the site goes quiet, that the actual rebuilding happens. That's what sleep does for you. The protein you eat during the day becomes most valuable when you give your body 7 to 8 hours of deep, uninterrupted rest. If you shortchange your sleep, you shortchange the repairs. And this is especially important for seniors because disrupted sleep is common with age, and poor sleep directly accelerates muscle loss. The more consistent your rest, the stronger your body's recovery cycle becomes. Finally, let's talk about timing. A common mistake many older adults make is eating very little protein during the day, then trying to cram it all into one big dinner. The problem is that your body can only use so much at once. Imagine trying to water a plant by dumping a whole bucket of water onto it in 1 second. Most of that water just spills away, wasted. But if you give it small, steady sips throughout the day, the plant thrives. Your muscles work the same way. By spreading your protein intake evenly, a little at breakfast, a little at lunch, a snack in the afternoon, and a moderate amount at dinner, you keep your body in a constant state of repair and renewal. This simple shift makes the protein you eat almost twice as effective compared to saving it all for the evening. When you put these 4 factors together, gentle exercise, steady hydration, quality sleep, and balanced timing, something powerful happens. Suddenly, every bite of protein you eat works harder for you. The eggs you enjoy at breakfast, the beans you add to your lunch, the yogurt you have as a snack, They all combine with your lifestyle to create a body that feels stronger, steadier, and more resilient. And that's the real secret. Protein isn't just about what you eat. It's about how you live. We've spent a lot of time talking about foods, nutrients, and the science behind protein. But I want to pause here and remind you, this isn't just theory, and it isn't just numbers on a chart. It's real life. It's your life. And the truth is, I've seen time and time again how small changes in diet can create dramatic transformations, especially for people over 60. So let me share a few stories with you, because sometimes hearing about what others have gone through is the most powerful motivation of all. The first story comes from a gentleman who had just come out of surgery. He was in his early 70s and had been an active man most of his life, but the operation left him weak, unsteady, and frustrated. His doctors told him recovery would take months, maybe longer, and warned him about the dangers of muscle wasting during the healing process. At first, he thought it was just about rest and medication. But then, with some guidance, he shifted his focus toward protein. Nothing fancy. He added scrambled eggs to his breakfasts, swapped white bread for whole grain, toast with peanut butter, and made sure every meal had at least one affordable protein source. He didn't buy expensive powders or supplements, just simple, everyday foods from the grocery store. Within weeks, his energy returned. He found he could walk a little farther each day, stand a little taller, and regain confidence in his body. His surgeon was surprised at how quickly he rebuilt strength. And the man himself said something I'll never forget. I didn't just recover from surgery. I rebuilt myself one meal at a time. Another story comes from a grandmother, 80 years old, who had fallen into a routine of eating cereal every morning. Quick, easy, and familiar, but mostly sugar and carbs, with very little protein. She often complained of fatigue and a shaky feeling by late morning. Her family grew concerned when she started skipping outings and avoiding activities she used to enjoy because she simply didn't have the energy. That's when her daughter suggested she try something different. Swap the cereal for a bowl of Greek yogurt topped with fruit and a drizzle of honey. At first, she was hesitant. She said, "That's not breakfast, that's dessert." But within 2 weeks, she noticed a difference. She had more steady energy, fewer crashes, and her mood even improved. She began walking again with her friends at the park and rediscovered the joy of gardening without feeling drained halfway through. All from one simple change, replacing a weak start with a protein-packed one. It wasn't about adding years to her life. It was about adding life to her years. And then there's the story of a retiree living on a very strict budget. He had convinced himself that eating for health was expensive, something only wealthier people could manage with costly powders, fancy cuts of meat, or boutique health products. But when he looked closer, he realized he could thrive on the simplest and most affordable protein foods: beans, eggs, and a few cans of tuna. He learned how to make hearty bean soups, scrambled eggs with vegetables, and inexpensive but nourishing meals that fueled his body without draining his wallet. Within months, not only had his grocery bills stayed low, but he noticed something even more valuable. His body felt stronger, his joints less achy, and his confidence in his independence grew. He laughed when he told me, "I thought health was for the rich." Turns out, health was sitting right there in the 89-cent can of beans. These are not extraordinary people. They're not athletes. They're not fitness gurus. And they're not trying to turn back the clock. They're people, just like you, parents, grandparents, neighbors, who made 1 or 2 changes and discovered how powerful food can be. And their stories matter because they show us something essential. The path to better strength, energy, and independence after 60 isn't hidden. It's right there in everyday choices. So as you're listening to this, I want you to think about your own story. Where are you right now? Are you recovering from an illness, like the man after surgery? Are you stuck in a routine that leaves you drained, like the grandmother with her cereal? Or are you convinced healthy eating is too expensive, like the retiree who thought beans and eggs weren't enough? Wherever you are, know that you're not alone. Countless seniors have been where you are, and many have found their way forward by simply focusing on affordable, protein-rich foods that rebuild strength from the inside out. And now, I'd love to hear from you. because this channel isn't just about me talking at you. It's about building a community of seniors and families who learn and grow together. In the comments below, share your story. Tell us what foods have helped you feel stronger. Share your victories, even the small ones, because someone else watching might need to hear exactly what you've been through. Maybe you've discovered a protein trick that made a big difference. Maybe you've seen a loved one regain energy with a simple diet change. Your words might be the encouragement that gives another person the courage to start. Because in the end, this isn't theory. It's not abstract science. It's real life happening right now to people just like you. And your story, yes, your story, could be the next one we share. Here, inspiring thousands of others who are walking the same path. Now, before we wrap up, I want to take a little time to answer some of the most common questions seniors ask me about protein. These are the kinds of questions I hear all the time, and if you've been wondering about them yourself, you're not alone. Think of this section as a friendly conversation where I sit across from you at the kitchen table and clear up the confusion, one concern at a time. The first question I often hear is this: do I really need protein if I don't exercise much? And I understand why people ask this. Maybe you're not hitting the gym, you're not lifting weights, and you don't consider yourself an active person anymore. But here's the truth: protein isn't just for athletes. Protein is for every senior body, whether you're exercising daily or simply walking around your home. Even if you're sitting in a chair reading a book, your body is repairing cells, maintaining tissues, and fighting against muscle loss. Without protein, your body doesn't have the raw materials it needs to do that job. Exercise can amplify the benefits, sure, but the foundation, the building blocks, is always protein. So even if you're not moving much, your body is still working hard on the inside, and it desperately needs that fuel. Another big question I hear is, can I really get enough protein on a vegetarian diet? And the answer is absolutely yes. You do not need meat to meet your protein needs. It just requires a bit of variety and planning. Think about beans, lentils, chickpeas, tofu, edamame, nuts, seeds, oats. All of these are powerful plant-based sources. Even something like buckwheat pancakes or a bowl of oatmeal topped with chia seeds can give your muscles what they need. The key is mixing and matching. No one food has to carry the whole load, but when you combine them, your body gets all the amino acids it needs. And for seniors who may find meat too tough to chew or too expensive, these plant-based options can be both affordable and gentle on digestion. A third question I hear all the time is, what's the cheapest protein food I can buy at the grocery store? And this one makes me smile because it gets right to the heart of what we've been talking about throughout this video. You don't need expensive powders, shakes, or fancy supplements. The cheapest protein sources are often the simplest: eggs, beans, and peanut butter. Eggs are one of the most nutrient-dense foods on Earth, affordable, versatile, and easy to prepare. Beans, whether canned or dried, stretch into countless meals and provide not only protein but also fiber and minerals. And a jar of peanut butter? That's dozens of protein-rich snacks just waiting for you. These foods cost pennies compared to what you'd spend on health products, yet they give you real, lasting nourishment. Another very common concern goes something like this: how much is too much protein for someone over 60? And I want to reassure you here, because this worry often comes from outdated or misunderstood advice. For healthy seniors, eating a higher amount of protein is not dangerous. In fact, research shows that most seniors aren't eating enough protein, not too much, unless you have a specific kidney condition and your doctor has told you to limit protein. There is little risk in eating more than you think. Your body actually needs more protein as you age, not less, because of something called anabolic resistance. That means your body doesn't use protein as efficiently, so you need a little extra to get the same effect you used to. Think of it like pouring water into a sponge that's gotten stiff with age. It takes more to fully soak in. And finally, one question I hear that always makes people pause: can I just replace dinner with a protein shake? And the short answer is no, not if you want the best results. Shakes can be helpful as a supplement, especially if you have trouble chewing or you've lost your appetite. But they should never replace real food entirely. That's because real food doesn't just give you protein, It gives you vitamins, minerals, fiber, and other compounds that your body needs to stay healthy. A piece of fish or a bowl of beans is so much more than just protein. It's nourishment that works in harmony with your entire body. If you enjoy a shake here and there, that's fine, but let it be an addition, not a substitution. The point of all these answers is simple. Protein isn't complicated, and it doesn't need to be expensive. Don't get overwhelmed by charts or caught up in fads. Focus on variety, affordability, and consistency. Small choices, made daily, build into big results. And if you've been holding back because of these common questions, I hope this section gave you the reassurance to take that next step confidently. So now, after everything we've covered together, let's bring it all back to the heart of the message. You do not need expensive protein powders, overpriced supplements, or the latest diet fads to stay strong as you age. The truth is much simpler, and it's sitting right there on your grocery store shelf. Eggs, beans, yogurt, lentils, fish, chicken, oats, nuts, and so many other affordable foods. These are the real heroes. They're cheap, they're accessible, and they have been nourishing people for centuries. You don't have to drain your wallet or chase after miracle solutions. Your body can rebuild strength and fight muscle loss with the very same foods you already know and trust. Think back to the foods we talked about, the first 10 staples, the bonus 5, the extended second layer of high-protein options. Every single one of them proves the same point: rebuilding muscle after 60 doesn't require complexity, it requires consistency. A few mindful choices at breakfast, a few swaps at lunch, and a few nourishing options at dinner, and suddenly your body has the fuel it needs to repair, restore, and protect itself. I want you to hear this clearly, because too many seniors give up before they even begin. Muscle loss is not just part of aging. It doesn't have to be your story. You can fight back. Every plate of food is an opportunity to strengthen your legs, protect your joints, and maintain the independence you deserve. And you don't have to wait months or years to feel it. Many seniors notice improvements in their energy, balance, and stability within weeks of simply eating enough protein each day. Imagine walking with more confidence, climbing stairs without fear, or simply getting out of bed in the morning feeling strong instead of shaky. That is what's possible, and it starts with your daily meals. So here's what I'd like you to do now. If this video gave you clarity, motivation, or even one new food idea to try, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you never miss our weekly health videos designed just for seniors like you. And if you know a friend, a parent, or a neighbor who's struggling with weakness, balance issues, or muscle loss, share this video with them. Sometimes, just hearing that strength is possible can spark the change someone's been waiting for. And of course, if you're ready to take the next step, I've got more videos waiting for you. If your legs have been feeling weak, check out our video on the top nutrients that rebuild leg strength fast. If you've been worried about your joints, don't miss our guide to collagen-rich foods that reduce stiffness and improve mobility. And if you're curious about balance and fall prevention, watch our video on the best exercises and foods to protect your independence. Each of these resources connects directly to what we've learned today, and they'll give you even more tools to build a healthier, stronger future. Remember, your health is not out of your hands. With simple, affordable choices, you can nourish your body, rebuild your muscles, and protect your independence. So take action today. Choose one protein-rich food to add to your next meal and begin your journey toward lasting strength. You're not powerless against aging. You're stronger than you think.